Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. My day is going pretty awesome as per usual. I will not complain because it's pointless. Today we are reacting to American versus full English breakfast. Now I'm sure there are some heavy heads out there today from the celebrations yesterday for the 4th of July. So I'm hoping you had a big hearty breakfast to help cure that hangover. So we're going to be checking that out. But before we do, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, that would be freaking awesome. And if you're feeling extra frisky, you may as well give the video a like as well. I do have a Buy Me a Coffee page link down in the description, as well as a Patreon link down in the description if you fancy helping out the channel. But please feel no obligation to do so. And without further ado, let's check out American versus full English breakfast.
So today we are making breakfast two different ways. We've got the full English. Alexa, I'm not talking to you. Shut up.
Don't talk that way.
I'm not even being, it's a robot. Just right off the bat, I have a feeling I may lean more towards the full English only because there's more options, but I'm not sure yet. I have to make it, I have to put it together, do all the right things, bring them together. 2 plates, 1 gentleman, and 1 mouth. So with all that said, let's shall we? All right, folks, this is a true show.
They both look pretty good from there, don't they? I mean, I would eat both of those. Probably not in one sitting, but you know what I mean. I wouldn't turn either of them down.
An all-American breakfast versus a full English breakfast. Minus the black pudding, though, because not everyone loves it. Feel free to add if you wish. Now, let's begin with the all-American. Of course, we have to talk about bacon. Very simple. Get the thickest sliced bacon you can find, and for about 2 to 4 people, you can place 4 to 8 slices on a baking sheet lined with aluminum foil. Pop that into a cold oven, then set it to 450 degrees Fahrenheit and set a timer for 20 to 25 minutes. And once your timer has gone off, your bacon should be a beautiful golden brown and cooked perfectly. If it's not crispy or dark enough, then just leave it in there until, well, it is. Up to 10 more minutes. Then pull that out, let it drain on a paper towel, and that's your bacon. Next up is our hash browns. Snag 3 chunky russet potatoes, wash and peel them beautifully. Then using a box grater, grate all of your potatoes, then place them into a large bowl.
I hate those graters. Every time I see those graters, I think of when I don't know what I was doing, but I was talking or something, and I got all my knuckles. Wasn't a bad injury or anything, but still it sucked.
The salt very generously, toss together, and you're going to want to squeeze them pretty aggressively to coax some of that wah-wah out. Then give those a nice rinse underwater, drain them, and place in a dish towel. Wrap that up and wring out as much water as you can. From there, just heat up a medium non-stick pan over medium heat. Add in just enough vegetable oil to coat the bottom of the pan, around 2.5 tablespoons. Once the pan is hot, press in some of your potato mixture, enough to fit that pan edge to edge. Then let that cook for 3 to 4 minutes, or until you get a nice crust and the potatoes are half cooked through. Give it a nice flip, or well, as best you can, and repeat on the other side. Once it's a beautiful brown on both sides and the inside is cooked through, it's done. Season it to taste with salt if needed, then repeat with the rest of your potatoes. Next up is our pancakes. I find it so annoying that people go to buy box mix when in reality it takes literally 3 to 5 minutes just to make your own mix. Sorry to admit it, but you're saving yourself little to no time by doing that. Just a note from Papa. This recipe is from my ultimate pancake guide. The link for that is in the description. You make the batter, optionally let it rest, then heat up a large non-stick pan over medium heat, lightly grease it with cooking spray or vegetable oil, and cook 3 to 4 quarter-cup mounds of batter at a time for about 3 minutes per side, or until you flip and get a gorgeous dark golden brown on both sides, and the inside is fluffy and cooked through. Stack and place those to the side on a plate to keep warm as you finish the rest. For the eggs, you can cook them however you want, but typically I see them scrambled, so we're gonna do that. I call this a medium scramble. Not rubbery, but also not super loose and rich like a soft scramble. In a medium non-stick pan, heat up 2 tablespoons of
How do you like your eggs scrambled? That's quite a interesting question, I think, because I was doing some work in London in a posh restaurant, and they're like, oh, do you want some breakfast? I was like, yeah, I'll just have some scrambled eggs on toast or something, just something quick so I can eat and go. And I almost couldn't eat them. It's not that they were gross or anything, it's just the eggs were too runny for me. Like, you could, if you touched it, they were still slimy. Like, you know, like when you touch an egg white and it's like, I don't know how else to word this. It's like snot, basically. They were a bit too runny for me. I still ate them, but yeah, I like mine a little bit more well cooked.
Salted butter until it's melted and bubbling. Crack 4 to 6 eggs into a medium-sized bowl and give those a nice whisk until they're homogeneous. Then pour those into your pan. Then while constantly stirring with a spatula and shaking the pan, cook these bad boys for about 2 to 3 minutes. And look, when I say constantly, I mean constantly. Don't stop the movement. You'll notice that they go from creamy, then they'll thicken, then they'll form curds. And as soon as it's formed curds and there's just a little bit of liquid left and they aren't total rubber, remove them from the heat, season to taste with salt and optionally a little bit of black pepper. And those are your eggs. Listen, yeah, those if your eggs do happen to go rubbery, well then papa, no hug. Now to plate this up, well, you're gonna need a plate. Then place down your fat stack, followed by a pat of butter, some of your eggs, a touch of fresh cracked black pepper on those, and some thinly sliced chives. Add on your beautiful hash browns. And last but not least, your bacon. As crunchy or floppy as you like it. Look, enjoy your bacon however you need. Don't let anyone tell you how to live your life. Alright, so we've got our American style breakfast contender. I think it's time to go English. We first must have our bean discussion, because it's, well, very important to this dish. Get a medium sauce pot and add 1.5 cups or 350 milliliters of chicken stock, 3/4 of a cup or 180 milliliters of water, 3.5 tablespoons or 53 grams of dark brown sugar, 2.5 tablespoons or 35 grams of tomato paste,
he's making the baked beans from scratch.
Ketchup, 3 large cloves of garlic, lightly crushed by hand. Give them a little bow. And finally, add 2 sprigs of fresh sage. This was a large sprig, so I did just one. Set the heat to medium-high and bring that to a boil. Then immediately reduce the temperature to low and simmer for 12 to 15 minutes or until slightly reduced. Then add 3 cans of drained navy beans and simmer for another 5 minutes. Then separately combine 1 tablespoon or 14 grams of cornstarch and 1.5 tablespoons or 21 grams of water. Whisk together to create a slurry, then stream and whisk in about half of that into your beans. Let that continue to heat for a few minutes, and if that's thicky-wicky to your liking, then stop there. If not, then add the rest.
That actually looks like, I thought it was at the beginning. I thought it was like just the tinned baked beans. Fair play to him.
Of your cornstarch slurry. Then just season that to taste with salt and pepper if needed, and place it to the side to keep warm. Okay, so the mushrooms and tomatoes can be cooked in the same pan, so get a large skillet, add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and a generous glug of extra virgin olive oil. Set that over medium-high heat just until the butter is fully melted in. Cut the stems off all your mushrooms if you wish, then add them to your pan stem side up. Yes, the whole darn thing, brother. Be sure to leave enough room on the other half of the pan to then add 2 to 3 clusters of cherry or grape tomatoes. Season and taste with salt. Optionally toss in a couple sprigs of fresh thyme. Doesn't that just look beautiful already? It's about to have me boiling. Now, just let those cook without moving them around too much for 3 minutes or until the mushrooms get a nice color. Carefully flip all your mushrooms and cook for another 3 minutes or until the mushrooms get a nice color and the tomatoes are softened, lovely, and caramelized. And keep those warm on the side. Now, for your meat, we're not using regular old belly bacon. You specifically need English back bacon. It looks like this. It's essentially the loin from, well, the back of our 3 little pigs. Now, heat up a medium-sized pan over medium-high. Coat the bottom with a little bit of oil. Then once that's ripping hot, sear off your back bacon for 1 to 2 minutes or until you get some color. Then flip and repeat on the other side. You gotta sear this quick, otherwise it'll go dry. If done right, you may consider it over belly bacon. Or, well, maybe not. It's up to you. Once you've seared off your desired amount of back bacon, in that same pan, add in some already cooked sausages of choice, or you can boil your own from raw. That's up to you. These are miniature smoked sausages. Then just simply sear those guys on all sides for about 1 minute, or you take it a nice coating of deep brown.
I think I prefer the American bacon so far. I like thick bacon. Even here in Slovakia, we get the big old piece of smoked bacon and then we slice it quite thick when we have bacon, which isn't very often, to be honest with you. Not often enough for my liking. My missus doesn't let me eat as much bacon as I'd like.
With a touch of char here and there. About 5 minutes total. Place those to the side to keep warm as well. Think warm, like a hug from Papa. Last but not least is our eggs. I chose to go sunny side up here. And of course, I have a special technique for that. Heat up a non-stick skillet over medium-high, toss in about 2 tablespoons of butter, let it melt completely, and begin to bobble. Crack in 2 to 3 eggs and let those cook just until the whites are set. Then baste the top of your eggs with the butter to both cook and flavor the tops. Then once the whites are fully set and the yolk is still remove your eggies, snag yourself a plate, and begin to...
How do you have your eggs? That's exactly how I cook my eggs. Every morning, we've lucky enough to be able to have chickens here in Slovakia. In the UK, we didn't have our own chickens. And I'll have my eggs like that every morning. Nice runny, fried eggs, bit of salt on them. Pepper, loads of pepper, always pepper.
Assemble. Start off with your hot eggmen. Hit them with some fresh cracked black pepper, Papa's favorite flaky salt, followed by a generous helping of your English baked beans, your glistening sausages, seared back bacon, caramelized tomatoes, and roasty mushrooms. Oh, and of course, toast too. Although I couldn't fit it on the plate, so maybe just serve that on the side. Also, more specifically, toast goes with both of these plates. I highly recommend any bread you damn well choose. A nice brioche is a classy choice, but there's nothing wrong with a plain white bread. Or heck, you could even go whole wheat if you desire. Don't ask me how to toast the bread. I hope you know. In the toaster, please. Okay, so we have our 2 beautiful breakfast gentlemen. Now it's time for them to both duke it out in the octagon of flavor. Okay, so we have our all-American breakfaster. Well,
before we carry on and he makes his choice, which one do you think you would prefer out of the 2 of them? I think I would like to add the hash browns to the English one rather than the beans. I think I like beans, but I'd prefer to have the hash browns, and I think I'd get rid of the thin bacon. I'm not a huge fan of that. I like the thick bacon, and then I'd mix that with the fried egg, the mushrooms. I love mushrooms, and the tomatoes. I usually do the tomatoes this very similar, or I'll stick them under the grill. If I don't have the cherry tomatoes, I'll get the normal big tomatoes. I don't know what they call. I cut them in half, salt and pepper on the top, under the grill, and yeah, same sort of thing. Or fry them. Just eat them how you want.
Not all American.
Depends on the mood.
Eggs, bacon, hash browns, pancakes. Of course, the American one is half carbohydrates and half fat. But we're gonna eat this all as one unit. So get a little bit of bacon, a little bit of hash brown, some egg. There's nostalgic, childlike flavor. Wait, hang on. That's not what I meant to say. This brings me back to my childhood. That's what I'm trying to say. Stop making it weird. And maple syrup. Also, why do they always put the pancakes on this plate? Because guess what? Well, watch what's gonna happen when I do this. Oh, loaves! There's something better than just adding like tree sap on my scrambled eggs. They're fluffy, they're sweet. I love pancakes. I'm a big fan of pancakes. We know what this tastes like, okay? If you're American, you know exactly what this tastes like. This versus the English breakfast. Will nostalgia win? Will it? Now, you can't have this without toast, just saying. The beans, right off the bat.
The beans, you need the
I'm
toast.
stoked about these, okay? I love the beans that come with English breakfast. I love them. This is something you just kind of eat all together. You know, you get a little bit of egg, get that yolk running, get a piece of...
You can't just wreck the egg yolk. I am so funny about my egg yolk. What I like to do is I'll eat the white with the... Like I'll cut a piece of white, bit of sausage, bit of bacon, and I'll cut round my yolk. And then at the end, I'll have 2 yolks or however many eggs I have. I'll save a little bit of beans, a little bit of everything. I'll put my toast on my plate with the yolk. I'll bust the yolk on my toast, and then I'll have everything else. You can't just wreck it like that and then let it mix with everything.
Sausage.
What's wrong with you?
Beans.
I don't know, that really bugged me.
This is like a perfect meal. This is my kind of an experience. Look how many ways you can eat this. Unlimited adventure.
True.
So being born and raised in America, I feel a little wrong saying this. Personally, the eating experience of an English breakfast is superior. All the different flavors, all the different textures. You can eat multiple things, some with toast, some without toast, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That's how I like to eat. But the American style breakfast, you can't forget about the beauty of a pancake, the beauty of a hash brown, right? I'm not saying this is better than that, but collectively as an experience, I enjoy this one more. You want to know what else is full of papas glistening?
So let me know what you think down in the comments. I'd rather have fried than scrambled eggs with my breakfast. I would swap out the bacon. I want the American bacon, the nice thick bacon, and the hash brown, and then I'd have that with sausages as well. So yeah, I don't know. There's a few things I would change, but I think I would scoff them both down. If either one was put in front of me, I would enjoy it. If that makes any sense. I know I'm not making any sense today. I'm extremely tired, but hey. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.